Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. Sean Higgs coming out here. It's Tuesday, July the 1st. I said I'd see you next month. Here we are. Me and Matt Fargo on a Tuesday. That's how things are going to roll here for the month. Baseball, MLB free picks. Soon enough, though, we'll be getting some college and NFL stuff. So keep an eye out for that and hit that notification bell so you know each and every day whether they're MLB free picks, like our 3-0 sweep yesterday, 9-2 run the last week here with the free picks. Or, like I said, you never know. Maybe Chip will dive into some WNBA. I have no idea. But there's WNBA. There's CFL. There is ping pong, out of tennis, Wimbledon. Remember the old days Wimbledon used to be on HBO? I remember the 80s. I'd be like, I want to watch a movie, and it's Wimbledon tennis at 8 a.m. What's going on?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's right. I do remember that. That's right.
Yeah. I remember I'm at the beach. I want to watch E.T. or Ghostbusters. No, it's tennis. I'm like, who the heck wants to watch tennis? I sure as heck didn't want to watch tennis as a 10-year-old. Anyway, listen, you're hitting the like, your notification bell's on. Great free pick content at you every day. But you want our best bets, our top plays, head on over to gamblersworld.net. Me, Matt, dozen other guys. Got you covered. MLB, NFL, college football, college hoops, hockey, WNBA, Canadian Football League, UVL, whatever the Universal Football League is. I don't know, whatever. Horses. All sports covered at gamblersworld.net. Go get 3 738 packages guaranteed. Show you profit or we credit you back. Daily passes for $69.99, which I've said this before. They're good NFL, college football, Saturday, Sundays. They'll be loaded, multiple packages up. That's where the day pass comes in handy. Or you make the smart money move, get a season or monthly pass. The monthly pass is, guaranteed. We win for 30 days or you're credited back. Go at it again. So I'd recommend coming up a 30-day package, especially in September. I mean, you got all sports going basically in September, right? I mean, short of what, NBA maybe, but I think hockey starts in August or something. I don't know. I'm making hockey jokes. But here we go. Matt, how's the weekend? Haven't seen you since last week. We had a good run on the free picks. How the premiums treating you?
Very good. Yeah, on a 7-2 run with baseball underdogs since Sunday. Been a great season. It really has. And June was great, and hopefully we can run that right into July. Kind of a shorter month with the All-Star break. There's like 6 days off, but we have the CFL to make up for it. And then once we get in the latter half of July, preseason football's here, so it's right around the corner. So yeah, check out my premiums. I have a three-pack today. Going for a 3-0 underdog sweep. Check out my page. I have my first college football preview up. I believe it was posted this morning or maybe not until this afternoon. The American, the AAC. So go check that out. I'll have what are there, 12 conferences now? 11? I don't know. They'll all be there before kickoff of the first games on August 23rd. So go check those out. Some good content. Give you a little inside info on the teams for this upcoming season with the transfer portal. It's a mess. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It is a mess.
I've yet to begin college football. I haven't gotten a magazine yet. Although I did. I think I bet 6 games already. Now,
you told me that.
But, and again, I haven't really jumped into conference and jumping into per every team. These are more, I like the numbers. I'm going to move on the number. And like you said, with the portal, it's, I kind of, and this is when you usually start, right? It's a quieter month because you get a week off of baseball. You get some days off. You could jump to other sports, obviously NFL, college football on the, the next month. I got, this is when I usually start. I just feel hesitant, like, all right, well, let's just wait to see what else comes out there. But I'm like you, like a lot of people, you buy the different magazines. You try to match up who's got the right trade because you don't know. Some things will go like, wow, this guy has Jimmy Smith as a quarterback for this team, but the other guy has Kevin Bacon as the quarterback. You're like, who's quarterback? The previews are tough to do. I used to always do the previews, man. Now
they're tough, and especially with the conference I just did. I did the American yesterday and sent it out, and I think there are 14 teams. Yeah, 14 teams, and 6 teams have new head coaches this year. Like it's a conference that is just, it's very top heavy with 5 teams: Army, Navy, Memphis, UTSA, and maybe South Florida, but the bottom half of that conference is garbage. But they all have new coaches this year, so you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
They're coming back with 2 starters on offense, 4 on defense, vice versa for the other teams. Like they're bringing nobody back, and it's just going to be a crapshoot with that conference, man.
And it's like, are they bringing in guys from a school they were at? They're kind of familiar with their systems. It's difficult. And I used to like doing the previews because you kind of just hit on a few things like boom, bam, bam. You do a little video. Now you do that. Somebody's gonna be like, "This guy's not even on the team. He left." Oh, well, I mean, he left August 1st. I don't know. I did the video July 9th. Why are you yelling at me? It's
right. Yeah. I think most rosters are pretty much set right now, and the coaching staffs are in place and all that. But I do it personally, to get content out there, obviously. But I do it for myself too. It gives me, a chance to, preview every team for myself, so I have a better understanding of coming into the season. Because 5 years ago, you had a pretty good idea no matter what, because you had every starter coming back, staying with the same program. But now, the transfer portal has completely changed everything, where teams are just swapping players back and forth. And it's hard to keep up, and it's just a good research tool for me to get ready for the season. It's a lot of work, but I think it pays off in the long run. So that's primarily a good reason why I do it.
One last thing, and we'll move on to some MLB about the college football. The transfer portal, to me, I get it. Kids, you get paid, you want to get money, you get hurt. The school could be like, I'm revoking your scholarship. I think it does you no good. There's no justice involved. You're going to go from team A to B to C. How are you growing as a player? You're
Right.
jumping from one system to another system or a similar, but now you got a new coach and how are you developing?
Right.
Right.
That's good.
And I get it. If the coach leaves and you're like, oh, my good coach left. But I mean, if you're hiring from within and the DC or OC takes over and other coaches say the same, a team's going to draft you if you're developing and turning into a good player. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, we saw what's his name get drafted by Tennessee, right? Cam Ward went to Tennessee. The guy was on 5 teams, right? I mean, he started out here. Is that the exception to the rule, or is that going to be the rule? I mean, quarterback's a little different spot. You come in, you chuck it. But I mean, for any player, you're a lineman, you're a receiver, where you got to kind of develop and learn a skill for the next level and get better at. I think it kind of hurts you.
Yeah,
and I didn't play college ball to know. That's just the way I look at it. Where's your development?
Right, exactly. And I think the only counter argument to that is if a player, plays for 3 different schools, he's playing under 3 different systems. So he maybe is a good learner. He can learn, different, different formations, different schemes, whatever. So that is the only argument for maybe it can help. But as you mentioned, there seems like there's no real development because
we see the quarterback play in the NFL.
Yeah, right. As you mentioned, some of these quarterbacks have played for 4 teams in their 5 years that they've been eligible, and maybe it's good that they're learning these new systems, every year. I don't know. Look at Baker Mayfield. He went through how many offensive coordinators and how many systems when he was in Cleveland, and I think it helped him out. Now he's in Tampa Bay. He's learned a lot, so it could be good. I don't know. I don't play college ball either, so I have no clue. But
it's We'll be talking about quarterbacks soon enough when the NFL starts. We're talking about some terrible play and bad teams. That is right around the corner for us dashing out. Here's not to bash. MLB Best Bets is doing pretty good. Hello, 91 and 121. Now in the Discord Twitter world of nonsense, he would be laughed at. Oh, you're not a good bettor. Yeah, 45%, and you're up 2,700 on the year. Not too bad. Hello, money line underdogs.
Yeah.
MLB hockey. This is where you get 45% and make thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars, depending on your bankroll, or tens. You don't have to take these big faves. Like today, Matt, you have a sort of big fave here in your game. Philly, again, I said this yesterday with Philly and San Diego. I said I chose this matchup because the Padres are a pretty good team. They're in second place, third place. They're on their way to the playoffs. Philly's a good team. Another big line here. What do we have? Padres. Yesterday, I could see it. You brought up the knuckleballer, and you're competitive. You lost 4-0. 160 today with your best pitcher on Hill, Pavetta, who's been pretty good all season long. Sanchez, 160, total 8.5, 135 take back on Pavetta. I look at his numbers, 3-0 last 7 starts. ERA is a little high, though, so he's, not getting those clutch outs and teams are scoring runs. Obviously, the road splits, not as good as the home splits for the guy. But again, we're coming to these numbers, and we talked about it last week, where it's kind of high. You're like, wow, why are the Astros a 150 over the Phillies, and then the Phillies the next day a big favorite? Here's another one of those spots where you got two kind of similar pitchers. Maybe Sanchez is a little better, a little more consistent. Pavetta's been around, and maybe he's getting the mileage on the arms. He always has these good runs in his career, start or at the tail end of the season. He has a good 10, 15 starts. So you're like, wow, this guy's pretty solid. But here he's been pedestrian. Sanchez has been consistent. I want to say, again, I'm not going to lay 150. I'd be more run line, but I would lean Phils on this one. But what would you think of this game?
Yeah, I would 100% lean Phillies, but as you just said, I would not lean a number, and I don't want to take the run line here because the Philly offense, it hasn't been good lately. They put up 13 against Atlanta on, I believe it was Friday, and since then they put up 7 runs in the last 3 games, and prior to that, they had 1 run in 3 games in Houston. So the offense just isn't hitting the ball right now, and Pavetta's coming off a good start. Granted, it was against Washington. His road splits aren't great, but I think he's just facing an offense where he can keep them in check for a little bit. And Sanchez he's been awesome. He's allowed 2 runs or less in 12 of his last 14 starts, which is awesome. But he's not getting a run support. His last 4 starts, it's been a 2-1 loss, a 2-1 win, a 3-2 win, and a 2-1 loss. There's been no run support for him, and he's just given up nothing. So 4 straight runners for him. And as far as both teams go this year, pitching has pretty much ruled for them, and the offense has kind of kept them back. San Diego 47-34 to the under, Philly 46-36 to the under. And I think 8.5, it's minus 120, which I don't love doing that, but I think it's a good spot where we see another low-scoring game just like last night. So I'm leaning under once again in this one.
And again, the 120, man, this is par for the course in today's betting world. We're not finding 110s across the board like the old days. 115, 120. That's what it is. I mean, what are we gonna do? Under 8.5, official free pick here from Matt Fargo. And I like it too as well. You got 2 of the better pitchers for the teams going. Offenses have been struggling. Under 8.5, free pick. Again, 9-2 free pick run here. Matt Fargo says go under 8.5. And you should. Now, if you want Matt's Bet Bets, triple play on a Tuesday. Go to gamblesworld.net. Again, number 2 in the money for the year in MLB. Obviously, he's a little underdog guy, so chances are you might get an underdog today. Go get Matt's best bet here at Gamblers World with the triple play winners. And he's been hot. Let's go. Keep it going. Under 8.5, Philly and San Diego. My game here, the Mets and the Brew Crew. The Mets have been slumping like nobody's business. They dropped 7-10. Brewers have won 8-10, but yet the Mets are a slight fave here, 120 with Holmes on the hill versus Peralta, total 8.5. I hate betting on teams that are losing streaks, not playing well. I see 8.5 out here. I see some 8s on this total. I do kind of lean under in this one, and I might actually end up playing the under in this one. Maybe a little. Not like the parlay, but I'm going to do it under with the Philly game for a little bit and see how we do here with these offenses. I'm going to go crazy here, Matt. And again, I hate taking teams on losing streaks. I'm going to go Mets run line plus 170. We got another instance like we're talking about Peralta's road splits, home splits, kind of like Pavetta's a 4 ERA, which is not terrible because he's got a 213 batting average against. But again, if you're putting guys on base, 24 walks in 47 innings, that's like a walk every other inning, and you're giving up almost 40 hits. You're going to put some guys on base. It's the old, the teams do, right? You're hoping to break out. So you hope in one hand, you poop in the other, see one fills up first. I might get the soap out, but I just feel like this is a spot for the Mets. You get swept. You got a day off. You kind of clear the heads a little bit. get the back pages out of your mind. You got a guy struggling a bit here in Peralta, where Holmes he's been pretty good. Now, I was expecting much of him, but he's been a 5-inning guy, which makes sense. The guy was a relief pitcher. We expect him to go 7 every game. 196 batting average against here at home. A month of June where he's given up 3, 1, 1, 3, and 1 run this month. That's like you're gonna give up 2 runs a game. You got a shot. I think we have a shot here. So sign me up. Run line plus 170 on the New York Mets.
I could buy into that. I would lean to the Mets. Minus 121. I see 122, 124. Yeah, I mean they've lost 13 or 16. They're not playing good. Obviously, getting swept by the Pirates. Like that's getting crushed in all 3 games, no less.
And then the Braves got him too last week as well.
Right, and with Holmes, he's got 2.93 ERA in June, and he's been pitching great. The day off, I think, definitely helps. Coming back home, I think that helps. And with Peralta, he's been up and down. He's given up 3 runs in 3 of his last 5, and 2 of those were on the road. He's been better at home. Yeah, I mean, at that price, which was plus 170 at the run line, I mean, at that price, why not take a shot?
That's what I'm looking at. Value-wise, you're off a bad beating. You're kind of, we're not going to practice today. Let's just take a day off. Get with it. 170. I'm gonna take a shot on a plus 170 with a. Again, I'm not a huge Met lover. 170 is definitely worth it. Again, I'm getting a little greedy. I could just say, they could win this game 4-3, and I'll be in here the next day saying, if I would have just done that. Looking to make some money here, folks. Plus 170 as the free pick with the New York Mets. Under 8.5, Philly, San Diego for Matt. 9-2 run. Oh, by the way, I'm talking about getting a daily pass or why don't you get on board with Matt here? Look at this. All-Star Special, $99. You can't beat that because it's all MLB. And if you look at the daily packages, everybody's got MLB going. Why not jump on a guy he's been red hot? Even if he has a 500 run, you're not going to lose because he's an underdog cat. So go get Matt. I think I'm on a 14-7 run, which is fine. I'm still under 500, about a dozen games per year. So I got still work to do. Not this man. This man's 30 games under 500.
It's funny. You bring that up about hitting 45%. Now it's better to be like, oh my, this guy's horrible. He's going to lead 45%. Well, you have to figure if you're even taking underdogs or plus 110, you're probably not going to be doing great. I average underdogs, 130, 140 range. So that's how you make your money. And for somebody like myself or for you that does this all the time, we have to have a pretty thick skin if I'm hitting 45%.
Yes.
Because every handicapper wants to say, "Oh, I'm hitting 60%. I'm hitting 65%." Well, that's really hard to do unless you're laying big favorites, and you're probably going to end up in the red anyways. If you're hitting, all these big favorites, because they're even at 60%, you're not going to win money. So, yeah, it's a tough thing to swallow when you're hitting 45%, but I know it gets it done, and that's all that matters. Look at the units.
The LA Dodgers are 53-32, plus $90 on the year. So, again, I bring that up because, like I said, I joke about the Discord, Twitter world of sports betting, and they're like, I'm hitting 65. Yeah, well, I don't care that you're 20-something games over 500. What are you laying? Because the Dodgers are a great team. And if you're betting them every day, you're up pennies. You're up pennies for months and months of work.
Yep.
Underdogs are okay. They're okay.
Yeah,
They're your friends.
Look at the Yankees. Look at the Yankees last year. They were 28 games over 500, a 580 winning percentage. So 58% of their games they won. They were plus 174 profits. That's like
174, huh?
That's like basically 1, maybe 2 games of profit. So
they're what? They are 57 win percentage right now, right? They are 40
this year. Yep.
And they're down over $500 on the year. That's why I say when I joke that, oh, Dodgers are overrated, Yanks are overrated. This is what I'm talking about, because the value of what they're laying, it's not worth it. These are the best teams, and one's making you $90 over 3 months of work, and the other one's got you down a nickel. Well, what do we know?
Exactly.
Now that we've been doing this for a long time. Anyway, enough of our little rants to everybody here. I'm just saying, underdogs are okay. And the guy next to me is 30 games under 500. Is up basically, $2,600, $2,700. Not too bad. I don't know. I can't help you. You don't want to make money on those kind of returns. You want the free picks? Here you go. 9-2 run, baby. 35-38 on the year here. And again, we are down. Obviously, 685 is the number. Because sometimes we get a favorite here. There's a bunch of us who choose games. It's not just the dog guy and the run line guy. All right. Sometimes there's favorite bettors here. For today, we're going to go under Phillies and the Padres 8.5, and the Mets plus 170 on the run line. There you go. That'll get us to even pretty soon and do a couple of those games. They're your free pick. Matt, you, Kevin, dug up Stone for me. I gotta roll into a little dentist tomorrow, so there's that. I gotta clean the old chompers because I want to get fatter. I like to eat. My teeth is my teeth. All right, everybody. Good luck. Go get Matt's triple play today, or more importantly, get his MLB All-Star package on the site. You can get anybody's, but I'm telling you to get Matt because, I lean that way because he's an underdog guy. I don't know the guy who's number one. He's doing pretty well too, but take the number 2 guy if you want some doggy action. And there you have it for Tuesday. Under Philly, Mets run line. Bye-bye.